Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this special video series where we journey verse by verse through Surah Al-Baqarah, the longest chapter of the Qur'an, filled with divine wisdom, guidance, and life lessons. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today, we are covering verses 220 to 224. Verse 220, Caring for Orphans. To this world and the hereafter, and they ask you about orphans. Say, improvement for them is best. And if you mix your affairs with theirs, they are your brothers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the corrupter from the amender. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had willed, He could have put you in difficulty. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is exalted in might and wise. Explanation. This verse encourages kindness and transparency when dealing with orphans. Their care should be motivated by improvement, not personal gain. What this means for us: treat vulnerable people as family. Intend to benefit, not exploit, and trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's wisdom in your responsibilities. Verse 221, Marriage with disbelievers. And do not marry polytheistic women until they believe. And a believing slave woman is better than a polytheist, even though she might please you. And do not marry your women to polytheistic men until they believe. And a believing slave is better than a polytheist, even though he might please you. Those invite you to the fire, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invites to paradise and to forgiveness by His permission. And He makes clear His verses to the people that perhaps they may remember. Explanation. Faith should be the foundation of marriage. Even if someone seems attractive, belief matters more in building a family that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What this means for us: prioritize Iman in relationships. True success lies in choosing what brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verse 222, Rules of Menstruation. And they ask you about menstruation. Say, it is harm, so keep away from wives during menstruation, and do not approach them until they are pure. And when they have purified themselves, then come to them from where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained you. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who are constantly repentant and loves those who purify themselves. Explanation. Islam encourages respect, hygiene, and boundaries during menstruation. Intimacy is paused, not relationships. It teaches self-control and compassion. What this means for us: respect divine boundaries. Purity, both physical and spiritual, brings the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verse 223, Metaphor for marital intimacy. Your wives are a place of sowing seed for you, so come to your place of cultivation, however you wish, and put forth righteousness for yourselves, and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and know that you will meet Him, and give good tidings to the believers. Explanation. This metaphor highlights intimacy as a meaningful act tied to family and righteousness, not mere desire. What this means for us: be mindful in your relationships. See marriage as a responsibility and opportunity for righteousness. Verse 224. Do not misuse oaths, and do not make your oath by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an excuse against being righteous and fearing Him and making peace among people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hearing and knowing. Explanation. This verse warns against using oaths in Allah's name to avoid doing good or resolving conflicts. It's a misuse of His name. What this means for us: don't hide behind religious language to avoid obligations. Be truthful, fair, and God-conscious in all dealings. So, If you're truly serious about your faith, make a sincere commitment. Follow this series from beginning to end. One verse at a time. One transformation at a time. Let's walk this journey together and bring the Quran into our hearts and lives. If you found this video beneficial, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with others and let the reward multiply. Like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a verse, a reminder, a chance to grow. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.